roses are dead, but violets are growing. Hey there, broski, how are you doing? Today I will show you how to play Energy Fleets by Krule. If you didn't notice that he made a new song, Krule uploaded a video to his channel called Hey World, and there he plays 4 songs, and this is the 4th one. So check it out, it's a brilliant tune and I'm going to teach you now. I'm going to show you the chords and then dig a bit deeper into the finger positioning or the finger picking that Krule uses, because that's quite interesting in the song because of its simplicity and also not because of its simplicity. Now, check out the last part of the video to find out what I mean by that. Also check out my Instagram, there you can sometimes vote which song I do next. And also still check out my merch, the link is still in the description and the merch is still very hip and cool. Yes, but please check it out. It is really nice, I think. But let's get into the song now. Yes. So the song is just in standard tuning. You don't have to use a capo or anything like that. So we can go directly into the song. So as you could see, that's how to play the song. It isn't that difficult for a Krule song, but we'll go through some stuff that might be a bit tricky. First of all, what's very interesting about this song compared to all the complex strumming patterns that Krule uses a lot, for example in A Lizard State or in Rock Bottom, this strumming pattern isn't too difficult in this song. He even only uses 2 fingers. His middle finger is his thumb and his index finger. Ka-chow. So what he really does is he uses those, and sometimes at the same time, sometimes he changes them off. But for example in the beginning already you can see this very clearly. He plays these 2 notes by using his thumb and his index finger like that. And you can also do it like this. But then it might be a bit tricky when you're sliding downwards, so I do recommend you to use your middle finger on your left hand and your ring finger. And to do this slide you just have to play them both and then slide them upwards and still keeping your fingers on the fret, on the string. So, and then he does this slide downwards only with his thumb, and then he switches between the thumb and the index finger. So. And what's a bit difficult maybe about this part is that you do have to slide your middle finger so. So while you're doing this, while you're using your thumb, you have to slide your middle finger of your left hand. So while you're using the thumb of your right hand, you slide with the middle finger of your left hand. So basically when you're going to the 6th fret. But if it's too difficult, you don't necessarily have to do that slide. You can do anything you want. After this, he goes to the more strumming part, you could say, but again he still keeps on using his thumb and his index finger. You could also use your other fingers at this part, so, but it's a different sound. You might hear that very clearly when you're doing it with your index finger only. So he really uses his nail, you could say, by going up and down like this. So sounds a lot different than, for example, using your thumb. And you can hear quite a difference in tone, you could say, if you choose to use your really the flesh of your thumb, which is a very disgusting way of saying it, but you know what I mean, just the skin, or your nail. The nail really, like part of your nail really gives a more, I don't know how to describe it, a bit more bright sound, you could say, than your thumb. So you can hear that difference. And I think this might be a very conscious choice, because I don't think King Krule really strums a lot with only using one finger. I might be totally wrong, but still, it's an interesting thing. So he does. So basically hitting the A string with his thumb and then doing this with his pinky. He switches between his pinky and then he uses his index finger, so you have to bar these strings. And he does that for every place. And you can slide your finger a bit between the chords, you could say. So you hear this instead of. But so sliding your fingers, and by that I mean your index finger of your left hand, gives a bit of an extra touch to it, which King Krule does as well. Then he goes to this part, which is really the last part of the whole progression, and then he goes back to the beginning. And this is also quite interesting, because even here he only chooses to use his index finger. But it might be a bit more logical, you could say, or you can do whatever you want to also use your middle finger, so to do this. But he chooses to do. I don't think there's that much of a sound difference. It's maybe even quite irrelevant that he only uses his index finger, but still, it's a very little fun fact. So he uses his middle index finger for that, but you feel free to also use your middle finger for this part. So instead of, because you might be used to playing chords like using your middle finger and index finger on those strings. Then he does this, so. And this finger positioning might be a bit tricky on your left hand. You can also do it with your pinky, so placing your pinky on the 12th fret of the B string instead of your ring finger. So I sometimes tend to do that because that's a bit more reachable, it feels. And then he goes. Here again he uses his ring finger for the B string. You can again use your pinky, which might be a bit easier. So then you have, and then he basically places his middle finger one step down, like that. So you can do this with your ring finger, which he does, which goes like this. Or with your pinky, which sound exactly the same. And then you go back to the beginning of the song. Now there's one more important thing, or really a very interesting thing that he does, is the outro, where he strums the chords instead of doing this thing between the thumb and the index finger. So he starts to only use his index finger to play the chords. And in this outro he does some strumming pattern like this. all with his index finger. What I really like about this part is that he, at the center point, he also adds in the E string, so he's basically almost bashing all the strums together, so which is quite intense, you could say. He really almost therefore ignores the chords and really focuses on his right hand by, yeah, it creates some more tension, I think, by also including the E string. It's a very thick and full sound you get then. It's really you don't also really have to focus a lot on the exact rhythm and how you play the notes. It's more that you really put a lot of feel and, yeah, not really strength, but a lot of, passion in your right hand, you could say, which is nice. It's really right in the face. It's getting a bit poetic, but I hope you know what I mean. Don't be afraid to hit the notes wrong in the end, or go a bit out of the rhythm, or make something sound bad, because that's a bit part of the whole idea, I think, of the outro. It's all about, just going crazy, but not in a party way, but more in like a way, That didn't make any sense, but I hope some of this did. So thank you so much for watching again. I really hope you found this tutorial useful, and I also really hope to see you the next time. And don't forget to suggest a new song in the comments.